everybody, TNT Moto here. All right, so picked up a new camera. Actually, I picked up a new phone. My old phone was glitching out. The camera was doing some weird things, and I was losing a lot of footage. I actually had Barn Find Part 2 planned with my old phone, and I lost half the footage, and I wasn't able to put it up for you guys. So today, we're out here working on the 1985 CR250 Barn Find with the new phone. So hopefully the picture quality, lighting, and audio is really good. All right, so the last time I was out here, I put the clutch cover on. I'm going to show you what I did here. This clutch cover is an OEM 1985 clutch cover. You can see that it's got a slight amount of paint wear on it. It was in excellent shape. Cost me a couple $100 for this. They're almost impossible to find in this condition. On the inside, there was a very minor pit down at the bottom. Usually these are rotted right out. Like the last one that was on here, it was literally glob with magnesium and glycol. It was not savable at all. This whole area was rotted right out, as well as in the back of the case, and it was done. So I picked up this one. I brushed JB Weld to protect it on the inside. I'm going to be running straight water in here today. I'm not going to be putting any glycol in it. And then I'm going to be ordering up a product that does not eat the magnesium. This JB Weld that I put in here should protect this pretty much forever. Every time I've ever JB welded these things and gone back and looked at it, there's no wear at all. So I'm pretty happy with using JB Weld to fix these up, especially if they're in good shape. Lots of guys go to the extent of actually machining the JB Weld. They fill this whole area right in and they machine it and repair this area and over here. But when the back side of the case starts to get thin, they're pretty much done. Okay, so that's what I did last time. Today we're going to be putting the impeller on this bike. We're going to be putting water in it. We're going to put the oil in it. We're going to pull that carburetor out and clean it up, and we're going to try and fire this bike up for the first time. I am crossing my fingers that everything goes well. The other issue that I'm a little bit concerned about is the pro circuit pipe that I bought for this bike. I could not get on with the radiator on there. So I'm going to take the radiator off, and hopefully it fits. I've done a little bit of research online and communicated with a few people around the world about that pro circuit pipe, and they all say it fits with the original ATAC system on. But when I tried to mount it with the radiator on there, I could not get it around that radiator and onto the ATAC system. So I got pretty worried because I did pay $300 for that pipe as well. Another very rare item for the 1985 because of the ATAC system that was mounted on the front of the cylinder. I have all the parts that I need to get this bike back to original. I was able to pick up a couple of original clamps for the shock reservoir. I got new grips, new Honda grips, original Honda grips. In fact, today's Honda grips on the CRFs are identical to the old ones. I got new handlebars for this bike. I got new fork boots for this bike. And the plastic, I'm going to buff it all up with a new product that I picked up at a motorcycle show. I'm not going to use my traditional sanding method on it because I want to keep the original decals on it. The plastic is in really good shape. It doesn't have any serious gouges in it. So I just want to clean it up and shine it up and leave this bike as a non-restored 1985 CR250. So let's get at it. All right, so I got the impeller cleaned up. The glycol and magnesium had basically turned to stone in the impeller, and it was just a massive glob. So after about an hour with the screwdriver and some sandpaper, I was able to clean it right up. I'll get a new one, but for now I just want to make sure that the bike's going to fire up and everything's good. So let's get this installed, get some water in there, and fire this bike up. OEM water pump gaskets. These are generally hard to find. You wind up having to use aftermarket ones. And you can get good aftermarket ones and you can get bad aftermarket ones. I've had some where it basically crumbled apart right after I used it the first time, and then others that worked perfectly through multiple times that I had to remove the cover. Something I like to do with all of my gaskets is just put a little bit of grease on both sides. So that way if I ever need to take it apart, it comes apart easily, and it also acts as a very good seal. Okay, we got that one mounted on there. Get the bolts for the cover. We got the real long one, which I'm trying to remember where this goes. I think it goes, is it up here? Yeah, it's this top one. Okay, that in there. That one started. Alright, so this is the Pro Circuit pipe that I picked up for this bike. It's in excellent shape. It's got a couple of minor dents down on the bottom, but the body of the pipe is in, the body of the pipe itself is in great shape. So let's see if it's going to fit. But I'm a little bit worried down in this area that it's going to come in contact with the front of the water pump. I can see there's a small indent there as to probably where it's supposed to work and get up against it. But I'm going to show you over here the problem that I'm running into is right there. Right there at that spot. I'm not coming on to that ATAC system the way that it should be. So right in here, I mean, this is supposed to be flush, and I've seen a picture of another guy's bike, and his is probably on a little bit more than mine. He's probably got it up to about this second ridge right here, and I'm just barely on, which does not make any sense. Goes around there like that, and I'm almost there. I mean, actually, I think I am there. And then at the front, I'm not where I need to be, but I can feel every time that I hit it, I'm getting a little bit more on, and I think it's bending just a little bit more. So I'm going to get it on as far as I can. I'm going to mount the springs, I'm going to bolt it all up, and then once I get the bike running and I get that pipe nice and warmed up, that's when I'm going to start to take something like a block of wood or something that I can keep tapping on that point to cause that pipe to keep bending and flush up against that ATAC system like it should be. All right, well, this pipe is definitely bent. Okay, so if I'm looking up here at the top mount, I'm off by about 1/4 of an inch, which means the pipe is sitting a little bit higher than what it should be and possibly twisted slightly. And I'm up against my water pump over here. My water line is now touching the back, but it's not really pushed in there. So I should be able to get this top bolt in. Okay, so I was able to get the top mount bolt in. I'm going to tighten it all down, going to get the rad hook back up, and then going to have a look at back here because things don't look like they're lining up right here. And look at that. We've got a perfect line up at the back of the frame. She's right where it needs to be. I'm a little bit worried about the carburetor after finding the other fluids hadn't been drained properly, that if they left fuel in there, the whole carb's just going to be gummed up, including the jets. So I'm going to pull the carburetor off, and we're just going to clean it up before we put it back in. Put fuel and water in here and oil, and start this bike up for the first time. Oh yeah, wow. There we go. Okay, well, let's have a look at the slide. Oh yeah, Okay, so I'm gonna bring the camera around here. Well, you have a look at this. Oh my gosh. I am so glad that I didn't try and fire this thing up based on what I was informed about the bike. Look at that. Good grief. This kind of worries me a little bit that perhaps this bike was run with a bad air filter. But this could very well be that, you know, some mouse or something got in here. And because when I had the old air filter off, it did look like something had been crawling around. It's nasty on the air filter side for sure. So we're gonna have to clean this right up. All right, let's see what wonderful things are inside here. Well, first we're gonna have to clean the screws up a little bit. All the dirt in it. Just give it a blast of cleaner here. Try and clean that out. Brush it up a little bit. Make sure that I'm getting my screwdriver all the way down into this screw. That feels better. But I can tell that it's going to strip it. It's not going to come out, so I'm going to show you something that I do for that. You take yourself a little pair of good quality vice grips. Okay, there are knockoff brands, but try and stick with a good quality one because the other one's kind of let loose. And you just want to snap it onto the outside of this hole. Like so. And it'll usually break free, just like that. So now we haven't stripped the screw out, or the bolt, whatever you want to call it. We've saved it. Now normally when you order a rebuild kit, it comes with 4 brand new screws, plus your jets, floats. Oh my gosh, I can't even get it to come apart, so you know it's not going to be good. I'm hoping to get a subsonic cleaner in the future. Okay, there we go. I'm not expecting this to look very pretty at all. Oh yeah. Look at all that wonderful green ooze coming out of there. Gosh. I hate it when I buy stuff and, you know, oh, have a look at that. Can you see that? Oh, wow. Watch it pour out. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, camera, cut it out. All right, so the idle jet is completely shot. There's no hope of even cleaning it. Now, as I'm going along here, I like to just continually test stuff. I've got the pin back in there, and I want to check and make sure that I can't blow in the end of my fuel line. So, floats are closed. I can't blow anything. Now I'm going to turn the carb over like this. I can blow right through. I'm going to take the floats. Completely blocks the fuel off, so that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. We've got our main working properly now. We blew in the top of that. We've got our idle jet working. All right, we're ready to mount this carb back in the bike. All right, so getting ready to put the carb in. I was about to slide it into the boot and I noticed something. I'm just going to show you this. Hopefully you guys can see it. You see that crack right there? Now, cracking on the outside is pretty common. You just got to make sure that on the inside you don't have any cracking. So when I stuck my finger in it on the bike and I started pushing on that crack, I could definitely feel that it was split on the inside too. You don't want to be running your bike like that. You can get away with, you know, putting some compound around here for a short period of time. But eventually the fuel is going to eat it and it's going to split. And this one here is split all the way around. Luckily, I had one that I happened to be on Facebook one day and somebody else was asking about parts and some guy piped up and said, oh yeah, I got quite a few of those lying around. I'm like, hey, if he doesn't want them, I want them. So found out how much they cost and I ordered one and luckily I had it sitting here. So let's put that carburetor in now that I have replaced it with one that's not all cracked and split. All right, we got the carburetor in there. I'm just gonna pop the fuel line off the carb, hook it back up to the tank, open the petcock and just blow in it and make sure that air is traveling up. Now I'm gonna put just straight water in. I'm not gonna put any actual glycol in here. I want to order up some special rad fluid that won't eat magnesium. Oh, got a problem already. Got a problem already. It looks like I may have a leaking head gasket. Might just stop right there. I'm trying to figure out where the water's coming from, but I think it's coming out of the top of the head. If that's the case, it could be leaking into the cylinder as well. Don't really want to start the bike up with water in the cylinder. It could wind up getting a hydrolock. And I got the bottom gasket on the cylinder. I've got water coming out of it, so we're going to drain out the water right now, and that's going to be the end of it for today. I'm going to have to wind up pulling the cylinder off of this bike because the bottom gasket is definitely shot as well as the top. All right, so that definitely was not expected. I did not expect the cylinder gaskets to be shot. I'm going to have to tear it apart now. Everything that I did today, I'm going to have to take it all off. All right, so got the cylinder head off, realizing the top and bottom gasket were bad. Piston's not too bad. I'm going to clean her up a bit. I'm going to order up some new rings because, you know what, I think I might just order a new piston for it. Check the clearances on the connecting rod and everything, but you can see right here, the bottom gasket blew right out of the side. I'm starting to think that I know why this bike was parked 10 years ago, because it wasn't running right anymore, which is really disappointing. It's, you know, turned into be more of a time thing now than I guess money, but at the same time I wasn't expecting this. I thought I could quickly get this thing back up and running and flip it. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for a day. Unfortunately, not the video that I was hoping to put out today. I wanted to be able to fire up this barn find so we could see how it runs, and wound up finding that we had that cylinder issue. So I'm going to have to go home, order up a new piston and rings. It's going to spend about 20 minutes just quickly going over the bike and making sure that there's nothing else that I need, so that the next video, I'm going to fire this bike up. So I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching my videos. Please share with your friends, leave some comments, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll catch you next time.